What's up, Lucky Gamers? It's Lucky Lux. Alright, so we're gonna get into the future of Getian video soon. Just letting you know, you're gonna be seeing all of my characters in my CN account. This is gonna have all CN information in it. That's why I made my Should You Summon Getian video. That way I could talk about where he is at, like, as of right now in the game. But now this video is gonna talk about where he's at in CN right now. Okay, and this is how I'm gonna proceed with most characters. Well, all of the characters going forward. I'm gonna do Should You Summon and then a future of. That way you can get a full perspective before the character comes out. Right? Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so we have Getian here in a team that is made, right, for player content, which is really strong for him. Let's go ahead and get this discussion right at the top ahead. Should I be getting Getian when Synergies is coming out into the game? Synergies is free and Synergies is a domain expansion old as well, and she is waifu. Why would I ever get Getian if Synergies is out here, right? Like, that's probably what you're thinking. Now, let's really look at Synergies, okay? I love her. She is great. She is strong. But I would be lying to you if I did not say that she definitely comes with her asterisks, her because you gotta have some low health consistently in order to have her buffs match up with like Necrologist or even Getian, right? So she is really great for the fact that she gives crit rate, she gives 15% crit rate to a single target, and then gives a damage dealt buff as well, right? So as you increase this buff and it levels up, it's very similar to like Anna and Lee. It goes up to 30% damage dealt buff, and then the one target who is holding this gets extra 10. So if you're using just the 1-star, the character who you're targeting gets 25% damage dealt buff with 15% crit rate. Okay, then that's 30% damage dealt buff and then 40% damage dealt buff. That is just from her buff alone, but it does drain the DPS's health with using it. And then when you're under wild status, right, I'm gonna explain the wild status to you. It gives you 20% damage reduction, but it also drains your health every time you attack, especially if you're using it in combination with the buff. And then the way that you get damage dealt buffs out of this is for every 10% health that is missing, you get 5%, because I have P1, you'll get 5% damage dealt buff up to 40%. So to get to the full 40%, you have to get to 20%, okay? So in reality, most of you will never be at 20% health, because if you didn't get Ezra, which I know a lot of you didn't, you're not going to be at that health. You're maybe going to be at 70 to 80% health, or even full, depending on your healer, or you'll struggle to stay at 50%, okay? And I know a lot of you don't like that. If you have your DPS character at 60% health, you will get 20% damage dealt buff out of this, right? Now you can of course combine that with her buff, but if you're not really liking that risky type of play, then Synergies isn't for you. Synergies is amazing, Synergies is beautiful, but she has a risky type of play, and if that's not for you, then she's not a necessarily better Getian. I posed the question on my channel, who to use the best damage dealt buffer. Like, again, the reason why I feel that Synergies is better is because I have the characters that I can pair with Synergies, and she can do her own damage dealt buff with crit rate buff and do AoE damage with her follow-up and give a big buff with her domain, but I have the characters that I can pair with her, okay? That's why I feel like she's good, okay? But as a content creator, she is a high risk, high reward, and not everybody can get that. If you did not get this little homie right here, it's gonna be hard for you to use her. Or if you just don't, or if you're just not used to playing with her, then it's just not gonna be great for you, okay? So I just wanted to put that out there first, okay? Very strong, does a lot, but comes at a risk. She's universal, yes, everything like that, but it's not like it's not like they're the same, because to get that buff that he has for the domain, you gotta be low, okay? So just saying that. But she does allow you to use the damage up buffer without having Getian combine with another damage up buffer to get up to her, right? Because you can do Getian and Necrologist, Getian and Anna Lee to equal out to her highest damage dealt buff numbers, but you're going to be low health trying to get those numbers with Similas. Okay, now that's out the way, how does Getian pair with the featured characters? Getian and Isolde are really great characters to use together because their reality defense buff does not conflict. It actually combines, and it gives you more reality defense being lowered. So this gives your reality damage characters more damage. And with reality damage being honestly the one that's on top this first year of R99, it's not a bad route to go with reality defense. You have the 2 limited characters being reality defense. You have one of the craziest supports being reality defense, being reality damage with the Solde, and then you have other characters that have been also really good, right? If you have Shemaine on your account, Shemaine can fit with them. Shemaine could go with Getian. You have A-Knight. A-Knight is decent still. I know a lot of people don't like him, but he is still decent. You have Jessica, who's really good for Plant. You have Lilia, who's still holding it down in Star. They can all go with the reality damage buffer here, and then Isolde helps out with that as well. Then you also have Spaladio, who's really crazy, right? So you have characters in all of the Afflatuses that are reality, of course, and then there's still a reality Star character that has not come out yet, because I know a lot of you are like, okay, but what about Windsong? Well, we're still due for a reality Star character, so that could come out next year, which could be even crazier. You have no idea, right? But I do understand if you can't afford to get Getian and Isolde together, that it could put your pulls in jeopardy, right? Because if you did a lot of pulls on Joe because you're being greedy, or you just felt like you had to get the portraits because you were like, her portraits are more important than other characters, that's on you. It's not true, but it's on you, right? Isolde is going to be the better of the two if you can't afford to get Getian. Now, when it comes to the other characters coming out after Isolde, even, you have Marcus and Windsong. Those characters are totally skippable if you just can't afford to get them, especially if you're trying to get Vila, the healer. Vila is a really strong healer, especially going with a hyper carry route. If you're wanting to hold on to your Tooth Fairy really long and stick with Yini, you can definitely do that, but I would be lying if I said that Vila wasn't strong, okay? And then Lucy. Lucy's a ridiculous character. The same way that you guys were impressed with Joe, you'll be impressed with Lucy. Lucy is absolutely wild. Lucy is absolutely bonkers. There's like just nothing I can really say other than the fact that she is a crazy character. If you don't want to get her, that's fine. But if you're going the reality damage route, she's insane. And it just helps out with the fact that you're going with Getian, okay? So, but there's also going to be newer reality damage characters that are going to be crazy. And it's not that it's the wrong thing to do. We haven't come across any content that has blocked reality damage from being able to do anything. If anything, there was content that blocked mental damage a little bit from doing stuff, but people still found a way around it, right? People were still able to beat Robot Guy with Melania, so it's still okay. But just know that reality damage in the first year is still on top. So if you go with Getian, there's no wrong thing, but he does fit with the strongest characters in the game. Tons of synergy, okay? If you have any more questions about Getian, please let me know down in the comment section, or you can hit me up on Discord, hit me up on the live stream. But like I said, Getian's a great pick, but if you can't afford to get him, if you're broke on gems, I completely understand, but he is still amazing. Anyways, you lucky gamers, have a good one. Lucky Lugs out.